Hello, and welcome to another episode of Just Wing It with KSP RP-2. So, like I said at the ending of the last episode, we are going for the rocket place contract that requires us to get to 50 kilometers in altitude. If I'm not mistaken, there's no speed. Yeah, there's no speed requirement. And I noticed that my tags were not fully like fully full. What kind of my tags were not fully full. Wow. My tags were not full apparently. I don't know why, because I did went to edit the vessel to increase the utilization of the tanks to 2 minutes. Um, so I don't know if I just was imagining stuff. I did check it like after I had already ignited the engines, but it hadn't been that long. So yeah, let's see if we have enough fuel for this. But otherwise, I'll make this short, just give you the highlights. This is getting quite repetitive as far as the missions, so be back when I have an update. Okay, so we have Flameout and our apogee is above 50, so that's good. That's very good. And we just crossed. So yeah, now we only need to land back in the runway. Same drill as always, so I'll be back for that. I just realized that I never added the supersonic flight experiment to this aircraft. Probably because at the beginning that I were just going like up to 500 meters per second. We were really spending very little time above 450 meters per second. So it wasn't really that beneficial. But now we are spending more than a minute at a time. So that was very silly of me. Okay, we are 14 kilometers out. Once again, everything nominal. Okay, landing gear time. And we're almost there. Flare up. Excellent. I almost forgot to activate the brakes again. Okay, another one in the books. High altitude, and now I'm curious what are going to be the next ones. And there's still a lot of fuel capacity on this one, and we do have enough thrust to weight ratio to like fill the tank to the brim. So I think we can still keep using this aircraft. Okay, 92 days retirement change. So now that the missions are getting more interesting, we're able to push out the retirement date farther away. So yeah, that's looking good. 0.5 science for recovering the vessel that survived the flight. I won't scoff at science, even if it's just 0.5. And what do we have now? So now it's 60 kilometers, which we can definitely still achieve. And there's 5 contracts like this before we get to do the Carmen Line 1. Now, after 70 kilometers, we will need to wait for the X-15 cockpit. So I think I should prioritize that with the research. The problem is that before researching that, we need to research the next materials node, and I don't have enough science for that. So I hope I get enough science. Well, we're just two away, uh, so I hope we get those two before this completes 130 days. Um, so I think part of it will be putting the bloody experiment in the aircraft we just flew. So I'll do that, and oof. You know what? I'm just going to, because I think rolling this back in, training a new astronaut, and then launching it again is going to be faster than this launch. So I'm just going to do it off camera, maybe show you the landing of, yay, another successful mission, and that's it. Okay, future Darth Marvin here. So unfortunately, my microphone failed, and I'm recording this a few weeks after I recorded the episode, so I don't exactly remember what is going on. Yes, we were trying the 60 kilometers one, and okay, so as you can see, successful landing. I think successful mission. I haven't seen if I checked the contract tab over here. Probably will do it in a little bit, but there didn't seem to be any problem during the mission. I do notice that the microphone has failed by the time I start recording the next episode. Yeah, so there we have contract complete. Uh, it does sound a little bit weird at first. I wasn't a fan, but eventually I managed to find some correct microphone settings. But yeah, unfortunately, the rest of this episode will be post commentary, let's say. Once more onto the breach. So same contract, now it's 70 kilometers instead of 60. And if I remember correctly, this will be the last one we're able to do before we have to replace the current cockpit, the X2 one, with the X15 cockpit. Otherwise, our Kerbals will suffocate to death. Um, but you'll know the drill. I'll just show you the highlights. And I seriously hope this episode doesn't turn out to be very short because of all of these issues. I forget, obviously, like what kind of commentary I made a few weeks ago. Okay, we're starting to go down. And yeah, I was mistaken. This isn't 70 kilometers, but 60 kilometers altitude for the contract. We do have also a crude altitude record of 70 kilometers contract, but we don't get that high up. Now let's just see if I can land this thing. And here we go again. Everything nominal. And touchdown. Yeah, so these missions did get quite routine by this point, but it's good practice because given the scope of the challenge, I will need to land a lot of space planes. And unfortunately, the rest of this episode, I think it was just me talking about the management aspect, which deciding which contracts to go for next. And yeah, I don't remember my train of thought at the time. I think this was the point where I realized, like, okay, because earlier I wanted to replace all the administration people and companies that were giving us the research in the bonus for aircraft research speed that I was not able to change due to our lack of reputation. And by this point, I realized, okay, now I have the reputation I need, but now I want to uh, be able to research the X-15 cockpit quickly. Which, side note on that, I was reading the patch notes for a new version of RP-2 uh, a couple of days ago, and apparently the bonuses were not implemented properly in the version that you're currently watching. So I don't know if there was actually any effect of that or not. But yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to those bonuses. But yeah, I think that's going to be it. Unfortunately, a very short episode this time. I do apologize for the microphone woes, but they do uh, get solved for the next episode, fortunately. At least I hope I haven't gone through all the footage, but at the very least, at the beginning of the next episode, I can't hear myself. So yeah, uh, I don't remember what's going to be the next launch for next episode. So yeah, we'll just have to find out there. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.